a completely satisfactory end result. I just want exposed. I want them to be shown for. That's what I want. All right. We got to take a break. On that happy note, Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. Bob Dylan. Imagine how long this career is. July 9th, 1962, he recorded his hit Blowin' in the Wind at Columbia Recording Studios, New York City. He's still going. That's fabulous. Now, of these left-wing, maybe he's not even. But of these, at least those, let's go to the left-wing entertainers. How do they think? And this is this discordance that I don't understand. And I guess the reason I don't understand it because it doesn't make any sense. That a bigger federal government will make things better and fairer. See, that ignores human nature, number one. You give power to a human being, they want to exert it over others, certainly many of us. And they want to do it in a way that benefits them. And you get oppressive government. When you get more government, you get oppressive government. So if you care about poor people, go out and take care of them yourself. Organize a group and take care of them yourself. Don't ask that the federal government get bigger so that it oppresses everybody and takes away everyone's rights. Now, one of the things we talk about at the beginning of the show, and I do in my intro, is talk about comfort, benefit, or power. Now, benefit and power we understand. But there's a lot of people that they're uncomfortable with other people having guns, just as an example. It's not their right. It has nothing to do with it. Tough spit. There's a lot of people uncomfortable, we discovered, with people expressing their opinions. And so they want the government to stop it. They want to use the government to give them comfort, personal comfort, because freedom is messy, it's loud, it is at times very uncomfortable. And so, but I've never understood this. Why do you want the government to have more power, some unseen, unknown force, which has always been malevolent in the end since time immemorial because of human nature? And somehow you're compassionate because you want the government to dominate our lives. I don't, it's not understandable in any way, shape, or form. It truly isn't. By the way, speaking of asses, Al Gore, Vice President 1992, I don't have any I'm trying to think of the right word. I don't have any respect for someone. I don't care if you happen to be pro-choice. There are reasoned responses, and friends of mine that will discuss it with me give me those. I know they're wrong, by the way, but that doesn't mean I don't respect them or their opinion. But when you go from pro-life, as Al Gore did, to cravenly beyond pro-choice, as he and many Democrats have done, you've lost any respect. You should lose any respect that anybody had for you. Because number one, science is moving in favor of pro-life, clearly, distinctly, and unavoidably. And the second part of that is you're craven. You believe that abortion is murder, and now you don't? Really? I mean, so Al Gore, he's a disgusting. And then this his climate scam which has made him a multi-millionaire. He's a scammer, period. By the way, somebody texted in, where is it? What is it just exposing them going to do? They've been exposed and they just continue the corruption. Make tar and feather great again. Yes. By the way, somebody pointing out Hopkins Farm is a great veteran-owned farm. And that's where our friends at the Mulberry Bush are moving, so that's good to know. We don't know if we're going to get results. Oh, by the way, one thing, because I see on my Picardo watch is 10 o'clock, but the parking increase that Mayor Cognetti wanted to put in downtown, they not only wanted to extend the hours till 7 o'clock every night, they wanted to raise the prices and add Saturday. And a lot of business owners got together, phone calls, and went to the council meeting. And because one of the three blind mice wasn't there, it didn't pass. And that's a good thing. Somebody concludes, they say Mayor Page sucks. She's an awful mayor. Awful, awful, awful mayor. She could be the nicest person in the world. I don't know, although I've seen her vindictive side. But horrible at her job. And she's using it to be congressperson to get with her fellow left-wing lunatic elites. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm going, we're putting bike lanes in Scranton to create congestion that doesn't exist. New York City did it, and they created congestion, but it's not about the bikes. It's because they don't want you to have a car. They don't want you to have complete freedom to move about as you wish and when you wish. So they want high energy prices. They want to take your car away. You use mass transit, you use a bike. And we're going to make it as inconvenient and expensive as possible for you to drive that car and have individual freedom. That's who they are. Please don't forget that. All right. As I look, Picardo Jewelers, your Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, and Swiss Army. In short, your total watch store. Time is 10:02. We'll be back after the news. Great good morning, everyone. 10:10 a.m. according to my Bigardo watch here in the great Northeast. This beautiful Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values. And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great family of companies, including Basiliga Hospitality, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we lost this year, but celebrate this day thanks to John. Like Thomas Tanfield, late of Florida, but he was from Moscow. Dominic Suma, also late of Florida. He was from Dunmore. Chester Chet Maraziak, Trescow. Thomas Mateak, Zion Grove. Harold Jolene, Berwick. And Rudy Jacobs, Bloomsburg. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising we are committed to common sense, thereby providing you a sanctuary of sanity in a world where we've got an entire political party that they're gone. They're gone. You can't even have a normal conversation without insanity creeping in with any of these leading Democrats. That's why we love when we have normal Democrats listen to this show. And there are many, it's about 40% of the audience. Now there's maybe 10% of the total audience that's left-wing lunatic. I feel sorry for you. We do love to hear from you because we love to show that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And we just need to hear it, that somebody actually believes this stuff. Now, we played the Epstein thing because it's something that they're doing wrong, and I don't know why. And the fact that we don't know why is leading to the problem. And no less an observer than Bill O'Reilly writes in his column today. He says the Epstein file controversy is hurting the credibility of the Justice Department and, by extension, the president himself. On March 17, he says he discussed the situation with the president. This is Bill O'Reilly. He says, and we all know the media doesn't care about proper context. So there's a danger for anyone whose name pops up connected to Epstein no matter what happened. So you do have to protect some people. There's innocent people who had dealings with this scum. O'Reilly continues. However, America should be told exactly what the government knows. You can redact names. Attorney General Bondi has an obligation to hold a press conference and answer questions directly like she did at the cabinet meeting, only in a totality. People want to know, and they're hurting themselves. O'Reilly continues, evil should not be granted any protection. Innocence is entitled to full protection. Ms. Bondi is smart enough to make that determination. And he adds this, one more thing. President Biden's corrupt Justice Department had the Epstein information for years. Where are you, former AG Merrick Garland? Yeah, a disgraceful reprobate, Merrick Garland. Just hateful that he didn't get on the Supreme Court. And he was going to destroy anyone that was even close to the situation where he was denied his Supreme Court seat. But yeah, guys, tell us what's going on like you promised. And the answer may not be what people want to hear. There is no, I'll guarantee there's no blackmail list. I'll guarantee there's no list that says, oh, I'm blackmailing so-and-so. But there is the plain list, and it should be released en toto. We've gotten it through leaks in the past. Who went to the island with him? Okay, here it is. So don't hurt yourselves. It goes back to, and there's a tendency that we've seen before. Richard Nixon started his own troubles after the leak of the Pentagon Papers, which had nothing to do with him. It had to do with LBJ and the Eisenhower presidency and how we slipped into and the lies that were involved in our Vietnam conflict and involvement and entanglement therein. So you aren't the government, Donald Trump and Pam Bondi. You're us. Don't start defending the government. That's what they start doing. Anyway. Somebody said parking in Scranton should be 50 cents an hour. I think it's $2. I just don't stop during the day. I don't think it's a crazy number, the parking, but don't make it worse. And at least as of now, it isn't. Somebody says, LTS Bob talking about uncomfortable freedoms, watching two dudes with full beards all tagged up and muscled up, holding hands and smooching in public. Yeah, well, okay, so what? I mean, if that may be uncomfortable for you. Dallas Mike says, it may be freedom, but it's downright uncomfortable. Freedom is uncomfortable, and boy, it should be. Yeah, somebody says, wait, they're putting bike lanes in Scranton so they can charge you to park? Yeah, I know. It's insane. That's why it's an awful mayor. She's a left-winger. She's down on all of it. Just so you know, she's down on all of it. And that's why she's a horrible mayor, because she's got no connection with fact, truth, or reality, period. Chuck from Garland. Bob, while they keep their SUVs, planes, and boats, they want you to ride a bike. Yes. Somebody else, Bob, just because Biden and plus all his cronies got away scot-free on Earth doesn't mean they'll get away when they die. I believe that. I believe that. Tom from Dallas, I still have my I didn't hang myself Jeffrey Epstein air freshener hanging in my truck. I didn't see one of those, Tom. And don't plan to take it down anytime soon. I'm a big Trumper, but they need to release more information on this. Even if the list doesn't exist, we still need to know who went to his island and how. He made his money, I know. And why such a sweetheart deal the first time he was arrested. Well, that's easy. He had too many friends at that time. Oh, he just likes young girls, you know. The fact that he didn't get a pass the second time means there is justice. But all the young girls in between who suffered because they let him go the first time, I don't know. I'm just they've really got to have a complete, fulsome explanation of all of this and let us know. Somebody says, how about a shout out to Rush Limbaugh? You would make him so proud, R.I.P. You flatter me beyond words. Somebody says, and this is possible. And this is what happens. This is what happens when you don't release. Says, I said it before and I'll say it again. Both sides are on that list, and that's why we will never see it leaked. That's really possible. Another, Musk didn't help when he said Trump won't release the file because Trump is in it. See, Trump, it's well known, by the way. I'm not defending Trump. It's well known they had a break. They were friends, buddies, I guess you'd call it. No business association that anybody could detect. But they were buddies. And they had a break for some reason. And Trump won't say why, but they had one. And so I don't think there's any concern. And by the way, if there was a Trump association with Jeffrey Epstein, the aforementioned Merrick Garland and the Biden administration, they would have released it in a fraction of a second. Somebody says nothing wrong with bike lanes in big cities. It helps people decide if they want to move downtown. Bike lanes are a great feature for a city. No, then they have a bus lane. Then they have a bike lane. Have you driven Manhattan lately? Streets that used to flow no longer flow. And you didn't need bike lanes and you didn't need bus lanes. And you've got to remember what their agenda is. It's to take your car off of you, to make it so expensive and so outrageous that you don't have personal freedom. That's what it is. And the same listener continues. Do people want to be part of a big city? They got to realize that bike lanes and high-priced parking fees are part of paying the price for featuring. No! You are all wrong. No. Bike lanes are a left-wing agenda. And like all things in the left-wing agenda list, it starts with let's reduce congestion. Let's do something and then people want to use their bikes and there'll be less pollution. And then it morphs into what you have in New York City. You'll have 5 lanes of traffic on the avenues, and only 2 or 3 of them can be used. And you can't get around that city. And bikes coexisted with cars forever in those cities without bike lanes. There's more to it. Sorry. There's more to it. You're being naive. Somebody says, just think Bill Gates' wife divorced him because he wouldn't stop going to the island. Yeah. That's what they say. All right. We've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors. Then a little history, a little music, and then you at 570-883-0098. The Trogs. Murph says they moved from number 47 to number 6 on this date, 1966, with their hit Wild Thing. And Barack Obama. Mediocre at his best as president. He began a 2-day visit to Texas to discuss the influx of unaccompanied children, but didn't go to the border. Yeah, do you have to? Well, and by the way, he was the guy who separated children from adults because we couldn't tell who they are. But when Trump does it, it's the end of the world. He's the one who put kids in cages. But it was okay because it was Barack. It was the chosen one. And that, by allowing these kids to come across the border, this is when the child trafficking began. Bad stuff. Somebody says there's no bike lane around Harvey's Lakes, which would make great sense. But they want to put them in downtowns for the grown men on electric scooters. I know. Somebody says, sounds like you're yelling at Chauncey. No. Bob, just need good bike lanes from Lackawanna Heritage Trail to downtown for bicyclists to be able to visit restaurants and shops. There's places for them. The streets of the city of Scranton are not that place. Period. And high cost of parking. Your job as a mayor is to make it convenient and inexpensive for people to get to town so that they spend money there. It's a big city. Now, something came to mind quickly because I got to do Mother Teresa. While some of us are mildly distressed, and I stress mildly distressed, over the lack of information coming out on the Kennedy, MLK assassination attempts and Jeffrey Epstein. It's the Queen Mary trying to turn it around. And be aware of that. He hasn't even been in office 6 months. And the fact that he can't get information out about his own assassination attempts tells you that the bureaucracy still has a lot of power. Okay? Remember that. July 9th, Mother Teresa, St. Teresa. One by one, my former students began to arrive. They wanted to give everything to God. With what joy they put away their colorful saris in order to put on our poor cotton one. Well, you were an amazing leader, and you led by example, St. Teresa. That's why. Thank you, Mary Regina. Let us take a break because my Bacardo's watch tells me it's 10:31:26. We'll be back with the Veterans Tributes, the weather, and then you, 570-883-0098. Our veterans this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by John Basiliga. And as we head towards the weekend, we start thinking Basiliga Hospitality and their incredible properties, including the Old Brook Inn 307, Springbrook Township. You'll be amazed and impressed with this place, I'm telling you. It doesn't matter if you want fine dining, bar food, or just to have a couple cocktails. Fabulous. Far Street Tavern, same deal. Reimagined neighborhood bar in the incredible Trips Park section of West Scranton. Queen City Tavern, right on the main drag and Elephant. Check it out. I'm telling you. Tops. And you got fine dining at Atera. Atera 519 Linden Street, downtown Scranton. And you don't have to pay to park after 5. Sergei's, the nightclub, they'll be open tomorrow night. And then downtown Wilkes-Barre, the Stegmeyer Mansion, the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion. You will love it. Chester Chet Maraziak. He was 69. He was from Tresckow. He died June 7th. Born in Hazleton. Member of Church of All Saints McAdoo and the former St. Michael's Church, Tresckow. Chet was a 1973 graduate of West Hazleton High School. Veteran of the United States Air Force. Serving as military police. Chet worked for 30 years for the Chrysler Corporation, Newark, Delaware. Avid hunter, fisherman, loved his Harley Davidson. Surviving is his son, daughters, grandchildren, and a lot of other family members. Chet Maraziak. Thomas Mateak. He died June 9th at age 79. He was from Zion Grove. He passed away peacefully in his home with his loving wife, Carol, at his side after a lengthy battle with heart disease. Born in Coaldale, he attended Tamaqua schools. Carol Ann was his wife. They'd celebrated 56 years of marriage last September. He worked for many years in the maintenance department of Consolidated Cigar in Tresckow, and he also served us in the Army National Guard for 21 years. Another outdoorsman, member of the Shepton American Legion Post. He's survived by his wife, Carol Ann. 3 brothers, a sister, a grandson, a granddaughter. Tragically predeceased by his son, Joshua. Thomas Mateak. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Oh, I guess that means the weather. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, a mix of sun and clouds. Mild with a chance of a shower, 88. Tonight, partly cloudy and muggy, low 68. Thursday, clouds with showers and thunderstorms likely, high 88. Again, Friday, a mix of sun and clouds, chance of a thunderstorm, high 88. How about that? Or as Mel Allen used to say, how about that? Somebody texts in, Bob, bike lanes are a total scam for more unnecessary federal dollars. Pothole Pete, well, so did Pothole Page. But Pothole Pete proved that, Bob. Drove 6 blocks from his destination and then took his bike in. You remember that scam? You want to talk about a phony? Unbelievable. The Beatles. Murph says they recorded their hit Maxwell's Silver Hammer for their White Album at Abbey Road Studios in London, England, this date, 1969. And then you heard him, Chaz Palminteri. I don't know who the other guy was. I couldn't identify him. But just talking about the old days and nicknames, and Chaz on his podcast is always great. Bob Cordaro back with you. Somebody texts in, Bob, rail trails are really good bringing people into towns along them. DNL Trail is a good example. I biked this trail and was in so many towns along it that I was never in. And I lived in Northeast Pennsylvania my whole life. Get on the bike with Cutie and ride the trail from Jim Thorpe south to the Lehigh Gap. That sounds like too much effort. We got our trails here. Lackawanna County has great trails we could ride the bikes. You got to watch out for runners, and in Scranton, because Paige Cognetti's done nothing about it, you got to watch out for homeless. Somebody texts in, Bob, the biggest thing that is lacking in this country is any sign of respect. I'm an Army veteran. We may not have liked our company commander, but we respected him and his position. We may not have liked or agreed with the president, but we respected him and his position. Cops, bosses, parents, we respected them all. Where did respect go? It's drifted away slowly. I talk about my old neighborhood, and I didn't know the first names for years of the adults in the neighborhood. They were Mr. or Mrs. That's it. I'm down with you on that. And now let's I'll be blunt. The left does not deserve respect. Nancy Pelosi does not deserve my respect. Hakeem Jeffries does not deserve respect. Joe Biden does not deserve respect. I could go through the lunatics one by one, but tell you en masse. Gavin Newsom does not deserve respect. The squad do not deserve respect. And they've demeaned their positions to the point where their positions don't deserve respect. Now, a lot of people can say the same thing about Trump. But he's the first guy fighting fire with fire. But yeah, he does not show respect to anything. And in part, that's a good thing. But for each other, for we the normal people, not the people in political combat every day, yeah, you wish there would be more. You do. I agree. I cannot disagree with that. Let's see. Scott the Slabjacker. What did Scott have to say here? Bob, just starting to listen to today's show on the Odyssey app. I just want to say, as far as the illegals and the Democrats, if you look at the illegals as potential votes for the Democrats, it then makes sense why they are doing everything they're doing. Trump is removing what they hoped was 20 million new Democrat voters. The Democrats don't have a platform to run on. All their policies are insane. They cannot win on issues, so they must cheat. Illegals are the solution. You always get the most flack when you're right over the target. Yeah. And again, I want to point out, it has an immediate benefit. Even if they don't illegally vote, they're counted in the census. And so the population that the left-wing lunatics are losing because of their horrible policies, they don't pay the price in federal money or in representation in the state house or the U.S. House. Yeah. They know what they're doing. Oh, do they know what they're doing? And going back to that respect issue, I don't have a problem in some ways that you, even as an adult or even as a mayor or even as a commissioner or even as a radio host, whatever, that you have to earn respect. And that it's not automatically given to you. Maybe that's how we got where we are. People use like Joe Biden, he used the respect of the presidency, and he was a disreputable, corrupt buffoon. But the respect for his office and the life experiences he had to go through allowed him to be a buffoon in all these positions and get away with being a dope for 50 years, all the way to the presidency. So maybe I'm coming around in a different way on that now. The respect should not be automatic. It should be earned. And think of this. William Westmoreland, man, he looked like a general. He talked like a general. And his policies and his battle plans and his lies regarding Vietnam were criminal. He didn't deserve respect. So maybe not respecting automatically and making that person who's in the position earn the respect, maybe that's the way to go. It just could be. But feel free to comment on that. 570-883-0098. We'll take this commercial break. We got the Bloomberg Money Minute in the middle there. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. We'll be back. Murph says this date, 1972. Three Dog Night, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. The Faces with Rod Stewart. Humble Pie. And the Jay Giles Band performed at the Concert 10 Festival. Right here at the Pocono International Speedway, Long Pond, PA. Murph picked Joy to the World. And, man, you think about how old you're getting, but how tragic life can be at the same time. My first band, we called it the Sonic Sound. Bobby Hazen was the singer. He passed away. Jodo Rosso was really the only musician amongst us. Jodo Rosso, he passed away. And Matty Serrano, Dr. Matthew Serrano, he passed away. The last standing and the with the least ability somehow. Maybe that's what saved me. I have no idea. Anyway, we're back. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Our Picardo's watch time is 10:54 and 40 seconds. Guys, so I don't know. What do you think? I think that the respect is better if it's earned. The problem is that some people will never give respect to somebody like Trump or his accomplishments. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Like, I'm looking, sadly, and I tell you how terrible these newspapers are. And today's a Wednesday, so that means the ass has his column. And it says, Bresnahan says, I don't look at them as cuts. Well, they're not. But they're after Rob Bresnahan in that seat. They know that Mayor Unaccomplished Pothole Page is running for U.S. Congress, using the mayoralty to do that. And so all points of attack, whether it's the liar Shapiro, the liar Kelly, all the liars are after Rob. And no matter how much you tell them the truth, they will continue their lies. It's truly sad, but it's why their influence is dwindling with normal people and why it's evaporated with most normal people. Some people are just taking their time getting there, but they'll get there. Our listener says, Bob, I may agree to the point that respect could or should be earned on a personal level, but respect for a position, no matter who occupied it or how they ascended to it, is something I think should not be questioned. So maybe on some level the position gets respect, but not the person. I will respectfully disagree with you, but a world in the world that you're envisioning is a better place. I just don't think it's where we are. Like, I respect the Speaker of the House if they earn the respect. Like Mike Johnson's earned my respect. Nancy Pelosi has earned my disgust and disrespect. And her position doesn't save her from that sentiment. Okay, and so maybe we don't differ as much. I'm saying, well, maybe I respect the position and the person in it initially, giving them the benefit of the doubt until they prove beyond all doubt that they're scum, like Nancy Pelosi has, just for example. The presidency, same way. Steve from Trucksville says, Bob, I think respect went away when the consequences for disrespect went away. Yeah. Somebody else, hi, Bob, what is the status for moving all Joe Biden signs in the light of the more we find out about him? As long as Mayor Page, Pothole Page is in, they're not getting removed. As long as Governor Shapiro's in, the names are not getting removed. And so we're stuck with them for the foreseeable future. Maybe this fall's election. But see, here's where I have trouble voting for Democrats. There are 3 good Democrat nominees for council. Now, I'm a Mark Payne guy, so he's getting my vote for sure. But when I look at the three, none of them will oppose their party that I know of to get rid of the signs, including two good councilmen that are there now. The people who opposed Page and the three blind mice for their idiocy. But I don't know that they'll do it because, oh my God, we're Democrats and the Democrats will be mad. So I don't know. I really don't know. Somebody says, my Democrat friend said Cognati will not run, and she's being told not to run, that Bridget Kozarowski, the state representative, will run because she has a better chance. Kozarowski has a better chance, I agree. But Page has been hiring people to be on the campaign. So I don't believe that to be the case, but hey, that'll be her final decision. I would love to get her out of the mayoralty somehow, whether Jean Barrett runs and we defeat her or some other way. Bob, the Dems are trashing Bresnahan about stock trading in the Times Leader. Still at it, says cabinet guy. They can't. Rob's in a tough spot, man. They want that seat so badly. Oh, they could taste it. The Democrat left, they could taste it. And we can't let them have it. We cannot let them have it. He's a great congressman. Man, the way he maneuvered in the most recent, and you heard it from the reporter from the Washington Examiner. It's not just coming from me. And I've got some experience on Capitol Hill. I know what goes on down there and how it goes on. I watched him use his leverage masterfully as a freshman, as a guy's in there 6 months. That's who we need there. But the reporter from the Washington Examiner, she agreed. He didn't yell, he didn't scream, he didn't carry on. He just got what he asked for and as much as he could get for Northeast Pennsylvania. That's a congressman. Well, Bacardo Jewelers, your Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army watch store. In short, your watch store. They tell me the time's 11:01:18. We'll be back after the news. Great good morning, everyone. It is 11:09 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful Wednesday, July 9, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show, and I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great properties under the banner of Basiliga Hospitality to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we lost this year but celebrate today. Thomas Mateak, Zion Grove, Chet Maraziak, Trescow, Thomas Tanfield, Venice, Florida. He was from Moscow. Dominic Suma, Florida, but he was from Dunmore. Harold Jolene, Berwick, and Rudy Jacobs, Bloomsburg. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense after a brief news adjournment, promising you that because of our commitment to common sense, we will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you for the balance of this morning. My man Chucky getting in touch with me, showing me a fish, a monster fish he caught. Is that well, Chucky texted me, is that a big mouth bass? It's a beautiful fish. That's one thing I don't do that I really want to do, but I don't make the time now with the dog. Who knows? Although I guess you could bring the dog fishing. Yeah, fishing. That's a great pastime. Somebody texted in, hey, Bob, has anyone mentioned that Billy King was absent from the Scranton City Council meeting last night? His absence forced the tie, which basically killed the parking legislation. Hopefully he wasn't hiding. He is one of the reliable three blind mice, and I like Billy King. He's a good guy. But he has, I don't understand the rationale, but he swallowed the Paige Cognetti bullspit totally. And the three blind mice, they're like, you got to think of them as like little birds being fed by their mother bird in the nest. And they just regurgitate what she puts in them. Yeah. Somebody said they've been, one of the listeners, they've been frothing at the mouth for Rob Bresnahan's seat since he got in there. Splashpad Paige, that's another good nickname, would be totally ineffective because they know she's an automatic yes on anything the left tries. Yeah. Tom from Dallas says, I noticed the woman that converted from being a liberal to Republican that you just played, Bob, sounded like there was a baby in the background. That probably helped her convert. A family will do that and give you and give you common sense. I know it. Hey, so speaking of, it's not apropos of anything, but the 4th of July, but it just shows you the idiocy that has invaded to the local Democrat Party. So Bill Gaughan, he's speaking. We do this Scrantastic thing, so all our radio stations are there. And Doc and Chuity are emceeing this thing, and okay, he's the county commissioner. He gets to speak. Well, what does he do? He takes a shot at Republicans, saying they used to be reasonable and should go back to that. My God, the pot calling the kettle black. Just proof that Gaughan's insane, but here's what he does. He quotes a portion of a Ronald Reagan speech. Now, doesn't even acknowledge that it was a letter Ronald Reagan received that he was reading. Separate point. Rob O'Donnell's the guy who caught him, our afternoon guy. And the quote is, you can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go to live in Germany or Turkey or Japan, but you cannot become a German, a Turk, or a Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American. Now, he was talking about legal immigrants. He wasn't talking about Joe Biden's open border, Bill Gaughan's open border, Paige Cognetti's open border. That is an insult and a lie. And Rob called him in on it, and he shuffled away. And what was also in that speech, this quote emphasized the idea of America as a nation founded on shared ideals and principles, rather than solely on ethnic or national origin, allowing individuals from all backgrounds to fully integrate and become part of the nation. Unbelievable. So don't think that the left and Bill Gaughan is the perfect epitome of that disgraceful ideology. I don't know him well other than to say hello. Nice enough seems to be. Irrelevant. He's in public office, and we could judge by his stupidity when he speaks. I played you part of his speech at that idiotic Kings thing. He's that dumb. He's that stupid, or he's willing to use that to advance himself because he's a shitty, I apologize. Could you bleep that, Bulldog? He's a horrible county commissioner. I slipped up there. Bulldog caught it, all right, Bull? He hopes so. He says he hopes so. Oh, I mean, but what a disgrace. Your entire life is a lie? How do you do that? It's got to be beyond exhausting. He and Cognetti, I mean, the two of the worst people ever to hold the offices they've held. How do they do it? And again, for you guys that don't have to be burdened by them, it matters to you because this is what local Democrat officials are becoming if they have ambitions to advance in the party. And then there's some people who, because they're popular or likable or whatever, who actually believe this insanity, that's scary. Somebody says, why are you so negative against Paige? She did better than any of the good old boys. I may not agree with her totally, but it's better than good old boys back in town. I don't even know what that means, good old boys. See, that's her scam. That she's new and that she's different. Do you know who her good old boys are? The fake diversity, the fake left-wing lunatics who get paid to go to protests. That's her good old boys. Do you think it matters if they're girls, guys, transgenders? Do you think it matters? That's who she takes care of. That's who she sees to. And then the government creatures, like consultant after consultant after consultant, who suck the teat of government and our tax dollars right down the drain. She actually hired a consultant to hire a consultant about the pools, and we can't even get a splash pad built at NAOG. And at least one of the ones she has built is broken down. Bulldog didn't block it on the web. Can you block it? Well, it could be on the web. It can't be on the air. Seriously. And by the way, let me ask you, what has she done? Please tell me what she's done. Cognetti was given a $69 million gift from the COVID lie. Did she fix the streets? Did she put pools in NAOG? Did she hire qualified people for positions, or were they all hired because they fit into a slot in the DEI nexus? And that's why the city is doing horribly. Try to drive around. Seriously. So she's been a horrible mayor. You could say what you want about Courtwright. He solved the city's financial mess. Period. And is Chris Doherty a good old boy? He was a great mayor. Is Wayne Evans a good old boy? He was a great mayor. He shouldn't have been interim. He should have run. So what is the good old boy? I don't understand it. What? Paige doesn't have her little coterie, her little gang? It's all the ladies that lunch, the left-wing women? People that don't live in Scranton? Her contributions are from all her little places that she seeded to do a job for 2 years and leave because there was no accomplishments and she'd be about to be exposed? Well, she's been exposed as mayor, as an awful mayor. And we deserve better. And by the way, we need better. You got a good, solid mayor in Wilkes-Barre. We have a horrible mayor in Scranton, and you can tell the difference. You talk to members of the business community, you talk to people that have to live there like me, and you'll find out. And again, she got the city on firm financial footing because of the asset sales that Courtwright effectuated. She got an additional $69 million, and she's pissing it away on nonsense. On nonsense. Out-of-state consultants who are going to support her in her next race because she doesn't care about the city of Scranton, period. We're just a stepping stone for her, and it shows. So why am I negative on Paige? I don't care about her as a person. She doesn't even want to look at me when she sees me. The very rare times I do. But we're way beyond who's nice or appears nice or whatever. When you're a horrible left-winger like Gaughan and Cognetti are, and you're doing damage to the city that I love and the county that I love, I want you out and I'm going to call you out. Period. Somebody said, Bob, the condition of the streets in Southside, come to the Hill. It looks like Hamas territory after the IDF got done with it. I know. It's awful. And she's doing a horrible, again, talk to some business people that are involved in the city. Just find out. The only business she jumped up for was the gang members who got caught stealing drugs. She jumped right up. Took a picture, all happy. Yeah. All right. We got to take a break. There's a call on this Scrantastic and Bill Gaughan. We'll see what that's all about. After this, it's the Bob Cordaro Show. But we're going to. An incredibly unremarkable song Murph picked, but in 1977, this date, it was the #1 hit, Undercover Angel. Well, Murph is a student of history, and history must be listened to. Somehow this song became #1 back then. I don't know. It did. And President Trump nominating Brett Kavanaugh, who was a federal appeals court judge before that. And you remember the disgrace that the Democrat Party brought upon those hearings. Ugh, it was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting what they tried to do to Brett Kavanaugh, and he got in anyway. Oh, so Biden's doctor, he's called in to testify why Joe, the buffoon, was demented, a demented buffoon. Let's see what that little idiot, that little dope has. He should have his license stripped. Period. All right, well, we talked about this disgraceful Bill Gaughan and his political speech, which again, you have to lie to take their position. You have to lie about Ronald Reagan in this case to take their position. And to bring up left-wing lunatic politics like open borders on a 4th of July non-political event that our radio stations are all involved in, disgraceful. And it's Angelo from Madisonville.
I just love that song, man.
And the Bulldog found a special version for you, Angelo.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, thanks there, Bulldog. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I went there. I'll tell you, it was a great day. So I'm walking around, and I hear this guy talking, and I knew a couple of people there, maybe a couple hundred people I knew. So the one guy goes, "Come here, listen to this BS." So I'm listening to this guy, right? And there was some hecklers there. And my grandfather said, "You know what, Angelo, if you can't say anything good about somebody, don't say nothing at all." But you know what? I never listened to him. So I just can't say nothing good about this guy. What the heck is the matter with him? Like, where does he get his information? You know, it's a disgrace.
He makes it up. It's what all the left people, it's what all the left-wing lunatics do. That's what Gaughan does. He makes it up. And he's got Pat McKenna, who used to, disgraceful, used to write all the editorial, was in charge of the editorial page for the Scranton Times, which somehow became worse after he left. But that's his ideological guru, and they're both left-wing sickos.
That's his speechwriter.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
It's a shame, man.
That's who accompanies him when he goes anywhere. He comes down the radio stations because they do something here related to I don't even know what, and so they come down here, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm glad I missed him that day. I'll tell you something right now. I texted into you about Chris DiMatteo and then that old friends thing the other day.
Yeah.
And you got it, I think.
I did. I talked about it, and I was so disappointed I was going to miss Chris. But look at, even Chris DiMatteo has to take second place to, and old friends have to take second place to my grandchildren.
It's God, family, country, buddy. That's how it goes.
Yep. And Chris DiMatteo's fourth.
Yeah. His father was there, Bob.
Oh, I love him.
And I walked up to him and I introduced myself. And he said, "I remember you." I forget what else he said. It was funny. His wife was there. They came.
His wife was there too. Oh, Mrs. DiMatteo. Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah,
some of the greatest people on the planet. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, first, the Luongo brothers played, and they were actually good.
Oh, they're great.
Chris played, and then I'm sitting right in front. And he kept talking to me while he was doing his show, and I'm thinking, oh, boy, don't be talking to me. I just want to listen to you, But that piece, that 11-piece orchestra, fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're going to play again with them downtown. But
That's when I get
call
to see
about-
Chris is at the Festa. But I that was one I'm like, oh, I wish I could go. I wish I could go. That was all three acts were great. The Longo brothers and old friend. Yeah, good gang, man.
I think it's July 20th. The old friends are going to be there. But I'll tell you, getting back to that festival downtown, you should see how many people were there. I don't know if you made it down there, but it was unbelievable. And I have a hard time, doing a lot of walking, but I managed to get around the place about 50, 60 minutes later, and the food, the vendors, it was fantastic. The fireworks, it was beautiful. And I'm thinking, when I listened to this guy talking, I was thinking about when I was a kid living in Dunmore, going to Lake Lincoln. Remember Lake Lincoln?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how good was that, Bob?
Yep.
I don't understand why they can't just bring Lake Lincoln back. Everything is still there. All the forms are there.
Yep.
It just has to be repaired. I mean, it'd cost a heck of a lot less to repair what's there than to just tear down everything and rebuild.
You put a filtration system in. And we hang out there like the old days. And see, here's the thing with these splash pads. They're for little kids, and they're great as far as they go. What do teenagers do who you want to occupy, who could cause trouble, who could get into trouble, who could get in with the wrong crowd if they don't have a nice place that's supervised to hang around? That's what fools like Paige Cognetti don't get, because her environmental lunacy is more important than any person or any group of people. And that's why we don't have pools in Scranton, because of her.
Are they all closed? I mean, we had one in McDade Park. We had one down in Weston Field. We had quite a few of them. Are they all closed?
Well, McDade Park is county. But Cottle Park has one, a pool, still has one. I believe Weston Field had a pool that opened. I'm not sure of that. And then the rest is these splash pads. And the only thing they're building in Naog, after 5 years of her in office, after 2 consultants, one that picked the other, we've got a partially built splash pad where Lake Lincoln used to be. It's a disgrace. That's again, the left-wing lunatics, her and Gaughan, that's why they're awful at their jobs. Because they are separated from fact, truth, and reality with their ideology. It's awful.
Yeah, my buddy asked me, so are you going to record this speech? I says, no, I'm not even going to finish listening to it. I'm out of here. I can't take it.
Based on lies and was a lie. And that's what Gaughan does.
I'm glad you went to a commercial because I was so pumped up and aggravated, after listening to what you said, which was all true, LTS. I did a few push-ups, and I'm thinking, my God, I got to do something. I'm going to go outside and punch that oak tree, break another hand. What the heck, you know what I mean?
No, you vented here, Angelo. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm glad that you talked about it, because people that
I hate to talk about local officials, but when they're spreading the insanity, they're not just bad at their jobs; they're dangerous. Yeah, Cognetti and Gaughan among them.
I remember Billy Rinaldi, God rest his soul. I ran for 5th grade president in the student council class there, and I won. And then 11th grade at North Pocono. And it's too bad that he never ran for something, because his wife did.
Oh, he did. We can't go into it now because it's way past time for a break. But Billy Rinaldi was he ran tax collector in Dunmore.
Oh, that's right.
And then recorder of deeds in county. Yeah, Billy, he was a good man. What a good man.
He should have ran for mayor.
I know. Hey, Angelo, we got to go, my man, but always a pleasure.
LTS, brother.
LTS back at you. Time for a break. Let's hear from our great sponsors. We'll come back with our Veterans Tribute, a little weather, and then you. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our veterans this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by our man John Basiliga and his great properties under the collection called the Basiliga Hospitality Group. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. Far Street Tavern, Trips Parts section of West Scranton. The Scranton Art House, first run movie theater. Downtown Scranton. A Terra 519, open tonight. Fine dining at its best. Sergei's Live, they'll be open tomorrow night through the weekend. The incredible Stegmeyer Mansion, the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion, South Franklin Street, Wilkes-Barre. And the Queen City Tavern, Oliphant. Remodeled and ready for action. Harold Jolene. He was a Berwick Forge retiree and had a deep love for dogs. He was 77 when he passed away on June 2nd. Born in Bloomsburg. He served us in the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War from 1968 to 1970. He worked for many years at Berwick Forge and Fabrication until health challenges led to his early retirement. A member of St. Joseph Catholic Church in Berwick, as well as the American Legion, the AMVETS, and the Berwick VFW. He will be greatly missed by his son, Adam, his significant other, Kelly, both of Mountaintop, his sisters, and many other family members. He was preceded in death by 4 brothers, Charles, Wayne, Johnny, and Jimmy Jolene. Harold Jolene. Rudy Jacobs. He served us with the U.S. Air Force Intelligence. He also loved cruises. He was 77 when he passed away June 6th. He was from Bloomsburg, where he'd lived for more than 8 years. Born in Somerville, New Jersey. Graduated Boundbrook High School in 1966. Then he faithfully served us for 6 years in the United States Air Force in the intelligence. He left in 1972. Graduated at Hagerstown Junior College in Maryland, and for more than 25 years was employed in automotive sales until his retirement in 2015. He loved fishing, bartending, cooking, casinos, traveling on cruises. He was a member of the Moose Club in Danville. What is a Moose Club? I really want to find out. I love the sound of it. Survivors include his mother, Olga. She's from Bloomsburg. 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, 4 sisters, and other family members. Rudy Jacobs. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by our man John Basiliga and the great Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, a mix of sun and clouds, mild with a chance of a shower, 88. Tonight, partly cloudy and muggy, low 68. Thursday, clouds with showers and thunderstorms likely, 88. Friday, a mix of sun and clouds with chance of a thunderstorm, 88. How about that? Yeah, funny. In the middle of that, I don't know why it popped in my head, but obviously because we're talking about Basiliga Hospitality. I remember the mushroom soup I had up at the Old Brook Inn. And I think I had it at Queen City Tavern. And this is in my it's in my mind while I'm trying to do the weather report. It's that good. It really is. And Pete Hegseth, amen. We're back. Bob Cordaro. And that's the police. Murph tells us they moved up to number 1 in just 6 weeks with their hit, Every Breath You Take. And, man, you got to love it. Pete Hegseth telling them, yeah, guess what the Army is for? Did we just discover this? Oh, Lord. So, well, let's go right to the blower, because I think Pete Hegseth spoke for himself and for all of us. Max from Dixon City. Hi, Max. How are you, man?
Not too good. I mean, I want to ask you straight up, because you've taken an oath before for office. These things you have to swear to, okay? Do they run in line with what the mayor of California, Chicago, maybe the soon-to-be mayor of New York are doing? Be honest now, because it's technically illegal to go against the oath, right?
Not technically. It is.
Okay.
Oh, they've all violated their oaths of office, and virtually every Democrat that I can think of, and well, I'm talking about on national level, has done the same. Yes.
So why is nothing being done, and why aren't we enforcing these laws? Okay, to rein in who these people are, and that's treasonous, and basically sleeping with the enemy. You're allowing a foreign army to take shape here in America. That's what these mayors are doing. And Karen Bass specifically said she is going to fight ICE and Trump.
Yeah.
That's a dereliction of duty, number one, but it also runs interference with the Constitution. So how is this woman not being brought up on charges and possibly being interrogated to find out who is she working for, really? Who really is she working for?
I know it.
Because we
not us.
She's not,
and not the people of Los Angeles. She's working like all the left-wing lunatics. Our local mayor, our Scranton mayor, our Lackawanna County Commissioner, Gahan, they're working for not us, but a left-wing ideology and themselves. That's who they're doing it for.
I guess it's faceless. I mean, I thought it would be more, streamlined to, an entity, but it's not that. Now, they're smart on, book smart. Okay. We get that, but they're not smart people. Okay. So they're not thinking up this stuff all of their own. Like the speech Karen Bass gave, it's not her words. She's working for somebody. She's not smart enough to come up with all that on her own. We know this. And a lot of these elected officials
it's their script. Their script is well known.
Yes. Yeah.
The script is well known. They watch somebody else on TV, they repeat the script. They watch, somebody comes up with an interesting twist on ICE agents. They just repeat it. They're disgraceful people. It's
disgraceful, and I was at the shore, for the holiday, and I was apprehensive about it because I know it just brings out the worst, around the holidays, and you saw gangs taking over the boardwalk, taking over the streets, jumping on cars, shooting fireworks at people. Okay, this happened, at a beach in Delaware. Someone fired actual mortar shells at people, families. Okay, and we still don't know the outcome of that. We know who the face was posted everywhere. Like, who is this guy?
And Max, you know what's crazy? It's almost a guarantee that there was Democrat leadership there holding the cops back. Almost a guarantee.
Atlantic City. Yep. Oh, you should look at the mayor, Slick Willie, I think they call him, or something like that. The mayor of. You have to read up on the mayor of Atlantic City. Do that for tomorrow's show. Just you'll be amazed. Like you can't make it up. It's like scripted. This guy is so off the wall.
Maybe you could give us maybe you could call it and give us the best of tomorrow, huh? On that clown. Yeah.
This guy is the worst you could ever imagine, and he flaunts it in everyone's face.
Yeah.
Like, they had a Black Excellence Party in Atlantic City, and basically just went off. If you could think of every racist trope you've ever heard, it would belong there. He actually takes bribes to get any business done, and he makes it public knowledge that you have to bribe him.
The sad part, there's so much African American and Black excellence in this country, it could actually be a great event. Hey, we got to go, Max. Call us about that, Mayor. Hey, shout out. My brother Mike's driving for DePietro's Pharmacy. Shout out to him and all their drivers. We love them. We'll be back. Well, we're going to finish with the animals. Murph tells us this date, 1964, that the number one hit in the UK with House of the Rising Sun. A lot of you asking, particularly Slick, because I've read this, I've been following it, and I finally found in a news source, not reliable, but that reported on it, Newsweek, we've all heard of it. They do cloud seeding operations in Texas, covering about 1/6 of the state and 31 million acres across its northwestern, western, and southern regions. And a guy that's with a company that does it, Rainmaker, the CEO, Augustus DeRicco, said his farm had nothing to do with it. They produced about 10 million gallons of rain, and this was 4 trillion that caused the flood. So there's a balance there, but it's not to be dismissed. Hey, somebody said the Moose Club is akin to a raccoon lodge, and there's a raccoon bar in New York City down in the Wall Street area. Man, I got to go there. How the hell did I miss it? Anyway, guys, we had a great day, always. Look, we got to say it as it is, without fear or favor. And I'm a Scrantonian, and I'm a Lackawanna Countyan, so I've got to call them out when they're insane and incompetent. But let's not forget our veterans. One more time, brought to you by our man John Basiliga. Thomas Matejak, Zion Grove, Chet Maraziak, Tresco. Thomas Tanfield, Leyda, Florida, but he was from Moscow. Dominic Suma, Leyda, Florida. He was from Dunmore. Rudy Jacobs, Bloomsburg. And Harold Jolene, Berwick. Well, Sue Henry next. Rob O'Donnell after that. Oh, quick. I got to get you to Babylon Bee. It shows Pam Bondi. Bondi explained she was going to release the Epstein files, but then some pedophiles asked her not to. Another one from Babylon Bee. Furious Newsom says he won't stand silently by while Trump fixes California. And then showing the Democrat side of the House Senate, it says there is no client Epstein list. There is no Epstein client list, say Epstein's clients. And you've heard about this with the Superman movie with the left-wing idiot and Disney. James Gunn releases film about the importance of accepting morally upstanding white immigrants who speak perfect English, like Superman. And another, man wants however many deportations are needed for him to no longer have to press 1 for English. And finally, serial killer out of a job as local Planned Parenthood closes. The Babylon Bee. Guys, have a great afternoon. For us, we've got to say adios, and we've got to gavel to a close this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. God willing, we'll be with you tomorrow. Did I already tell you? Sue Henry show next. Rob O'Donnell show after that. But I got to go because my Bicardo Jewelers watch tells me it's 12 o'clock and 32 seconds. Adios.